Welcome back. Let's get you some more news from the state. In fact, something that's been stirring up a debate. The Madras High Court has confirmed a death sentence for Stephen Kumar, an accused in a rape and murder case today. Kumar is actually a mason by profession and was convicted in the rape of a minor girl and the murder of a minor boy near the Nagapattinam district way back in 2002.
This is the minor girl. The minor girl along with another minor was inside the house when they are screening the TV, witnessed this TV. Then one of the accused entered and raped that minor girl. And also witnesses also attacked, that minor girl attacked. And another witness also cited that witness, 307. So that trial court conducted given the death sentence, which was confirmed by the division bench.
And on the big question tonight, we ask whether the death penalty is justified for a case of rape and murder. Joining us live is Mr. Manikandan, who is a leading advocate here in the city. Ms. Sudha Ramalingam, a rights activist, also will be joining us in a short while from now. Sir, to come to you first, Mr. Manikandan, do you believe that a death sentence in this case, which is obviously practiced in the rarest of the rarest cases, can this be a deterrent for other criminals before they, who may indulge in crimes like this in the future?
You see, Evelyn, not only the death penalty, almost all the penalties prescribed by law are based on the concept of deterrence, and the death penalty is no exception.
All right. But as far as this case goes, this was someone who was perhaps not too well known to the boy and the girl who were raped and murdered here. But do you believe that, when we do go ahead with executions like this, it can actually solve the underlying problems which still remain sometimes?
See, whether we like it or not, the concept of the penal code and the criminal procedure is such that these penalties are based on the concept of deterring others from repeating the offense or emulating the wrongdoer. And as far as the law is concerned, the Supreme Court has categorically classified the offence in which the nature of offences in which the death penalty should be applied. And as you rightly pointed out, that it is only in the rarest of the rare cases that such sentences are imposed. And considering the crime rate in the country and the difficulties that the justice system faces, when it comes to handling matters, and there has to be a balance between the so-called civil liberties, human rights aspects, and we should also understand that human rights, it is inherent insofar as the victim is concerned as well. And the concept of justice for the victim, as it is practiced today, it is in effect punishing the wrongdoer. Or if you look at it the other way around, it would take you back centuries, or ages, because those days, the concept of blood money was there. An offender could just pay off.
Punishment for a wrongdoer is what you're idly saying. Let me just bring in rights advocate Sudha Ramalingam here. You are known for your campaign against death penalty, but in this case, where it's been that little girl who's got her whole life ahead of her, don't you think that a death sentence where, that man went on to murder her brother right in front of her eyes, wouldn't this give her and her family some sort of a closure?
Retribution or deterrence is not the philosophy behind any punishment. And another thing that you'll have to think about is that by punishing a person with death penalty, you're not really going to reform anyone. And death penalties are not going to be really a panacea for any wrong. And there's also no statistics which says that just because you have abolished death, just because there is death penalty, other people do not commit crimes which attract death penalty. Death penalty is only something which will be in the form of a retribution or a deterrence, which are not really accepted in a civilized society. And what is really to be done is to give them a real life punishment. Life should be really life, and ensure that these people also reform and contribute to the society and to the victims at large also.
Percentage of guarantee of change do we really have? Although capital punishment might not really reduce the crime rate, it could at least prevent repeat offences. Perhaps in this man's case, don't you think that would be solved in one way or the other?
I am definite that just because you give a death penalty, crimes will be reduced is something which is not supported by any true scientific statistics or any logic. One. Secondly, the legal system itself is not foolproof. There have been instances where a person who has been given death penalty and executed also has been found to have been innocent at later period. One. Secondly, there have also been instances where a person is charged with murder and the person said to have been murdered have come alive. So these are instances which will show that doing away with the life of a person is at a real risk and it is not to be accepted. This is not going to be a solace at all. We as human rights activists, the People's Union for Civil Liberties, to which I belong to, has been doing a campaign over the decades against death penalty, and death penalty is something which has got to be abolished. It is also against the international norms.
Right, Mr. Manikandan, just to bring you in here, she says that there are perhaps too many loopholes in the legal system. So at a time when something like that really exists, what's your take on that moral judgment that taking anybody's life, the life of an individual, is wrong under any circumstance?
No, Evelyn, see, Sudha is, I disagree with her totally. The question of insufficiency in the systems is not something that you look at it from an ethical point of view. A person who's committed such heinous offences and you feel that merely because the system is not foolproof, you put him in behind bars for the rest of his life. No, that's it's worse than the death penalty. Therefore,
alternative to death penalty. If there is a chance of change and to rehabilitate a person, like Ms. Sudha says, could there be an alternate then to death penalty, or is this the best punishment in such cases like this, a rape and murder of little children?
No, that's what I'm saying, Evelyn. See, the only alternative is life sentence. And the only alternative is a life sentence, and in case you find that the system is not foolproof, you can't lock him up behind bars for the rest of his life. So there's no question of ethics involved. And as far as the so-called the persons whom have come alive after they were found to be murdered and all that, the law is there to take care of them. I mean, these human rights activists should ensure that these people who prosecuted the the offender, the alleged offender, they should be taken to task. Unfortunately, none of these activists are ever concerned about the officer who arrested the wrong person, and the judge who convicted the wrong person, and so on and so forth. They only just
respond to that, Ms. Sudha.
Sort of.
How many times do human rights activists
I'm really
take up that
shocked at what I'm really shocked at what Mr. Manikandan says. He does not understand that a person who has been executed cannot be brought back to life. You cannot punish a judge just because there has been a wrong sentence. He knows about it. The judges are protected, well protected against such punishments for anything done in the course of their duty. Secondly, you should also understand that death penalty is a really serious thing. You cannot undo this wrong. Whatever you talk about wrongful prosecution or bringing in prosecuting people who are responsible for such wrongful prosecution, if it is going to be life sentence, you can actually ensure that you let the person get back to his normal life. But if you put a person to death, thereafter there is a question of either reformation or ensuring that there is justice done to this person. So it's not a foolproof system. It's a system where we also understand that
Evelyn,
it is not going to be a real deterrence. So you have to ensure that there is reformation, not retribution.
See, Evelyn, what happens is... Evelyn, what happens is, see, in the event of there is actually, it's a 3-tier process. You know, the trial happens at the sessions level, it's confirmed with the High Court, thereafter the Supreme Court, and then finally there's the President's pardon, etc. So there are 4 layers of, you know, judging an offense, and we don't have a system where, you know, unlike in America or elsewhere, they have the system of a retrial when new evidence is discovered. In India, it's not the case. And the so-called human rights people should rather look at reforming the system, making it more foolproof, than to say that, you know, nothing should happen, and the yardstick that the system is not foolproof and therefore nobody should be sentenced to death, or even for that matter, that calls into question the entire legal framework, and that calls into question.
We have on the show, but clearly there's a divided opinion, and that's exactly why we brought this up for debate tonight, with the Madras High Court saying that the death sentence has been awarded to Stephen Kumar. But thanks very much indeed to Ms. Sudha Ramalingam, as well as Advocate Manikandan, for joining us and for your time as well on the news tonight. Then that's all we have on this bulletin. Thanks for being with us.